Hi, Sophia. Thank you for stopping by. So I am currently doing a HIV test. That's why I'm in that 20-minute waiting window where you have to wait. If you want to watch this video, I've already uploaded it, so just watch the previous video. It's there. I don't want to move it because they said you put it in a stable place. That's why I don't want to move it. So in the meantime, I thought, let's talk about something else as we distract our minds from waiting for these results to come out. So, about corona, this whole corona thing. Yesterday, today is Monday. So yesterday, on Sunday, so many people went to church. And there was this whole outcry, and it was even trending on Twitter, talking about COVIDiots and Kenya, and some Kenyans just being stupid and not taking care of, or not taking corona seriously. And it reminded me of sort of an online argument that I had with some people on Monday, actually. Last week on Monday, I had some online argument with some people in terms of they were really pushing for our gym to be closed. And for people who've known me for a while, you know, like the gym is just, it's my life. It's just where I just go to, it's part of my daily routine. It is just how I deal with things. And of course, me and some other people who are also like me were also like, if you don't want to go to the gym, just don't fucking go. Why do you want the gym to be closed, you know? And it was such a back and forth. And then the irony about all of that, the same people, or one of the women who was really like against it and be like, the gym has to be closed, don't go to the gym, you're spreading the virus and everything. She was the same woman in church on Sunday. And and I remember before going ham on her and be like, oh, you're the one who's talking about the gym being closed and here you are going to church. I took a pause, I took a step back and I was like, you know what? There's more to this. There's more to this. This same woman who was vilifying the gym is the same one who's going to church. So what's happening? Like, seriously, what's happening here? I think bottom line, what's happening is people are just trying to cope. That's it. That's my conclusion. I feel like people are just trying to cope. They're just trying to be sane in this world of COVID right now, because for me, like I said, the gym keeps me sane. Like, if I'm to just sit here and just think about what's happening in the world right now, I'd be depressed. I'd be depressed living right here in isolation by myself. I'd really be depressed. And to be honest, if my gym closed on Friday, but if they hadn't closed it, I swear to God, I'd still be going. Why? Because that's where I get my high. That is, people get their high in different ways. People say that religion is the ultimate opium, and I get it. But then at the same time, I'm also trying to understand. I'm not saying going to church was right, but I'm also trying to see it from their perspective. People right now are looking for answers. People right now are looking for that one person who will tell them, hey, Abby, it's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. Don't worry about this. People are looking for that. And most people get it from their religious leaders. They get it from their imams. They get it from their sheikhs, you know. They get it from their pastors and their priests. So if there's so many people who, all I'm saying is there's so many people who, they're just waiting for Sunday just so that they could go to church and someone could just tell them it's going to be fine. And that defies everything that we've been taught about, you know, like social distancing and everything. But I feel like people are just trying to find their ground. They're just trying to be sane. And if your pastor is the one that makes you sane, or choir is what makes you sane, I mean, I'm not saying you should do it, but it's sort of a catch-22, you know, because I put myself in their shoes as well. For me, the gym kept me sane. Right now, I can't go to the gym, you know. I'm lucky that I do live very close to a very open field in a school compound where I can just go and run. But it's not an option for so many people. Guys are like, why don't you work out at home? Maybe that's not how your house is set up, or also maybe you live in Nairobi is a concrete jungle. There are very few places where you can actually run or exercise or do all of that. Case in point, the Netherlands, when they said that they're shutting down everything, there were, like they said, in minutes, there were lines and lines of people at the cafes, the weed cafes where they sell marijuana. There were queues, people just buying weed. Why? Because that's their escape. That is how they relax. That is how they deal. That is how they cope with these things. And right now, also, I hear that there's a shortage of weed in the country as well. Don't ask me how I know, but I know there's a shortage. And you can just see that people are trying to cope with it the best way that they can. So if it's smoking your weed, if it's going to the bars, which the bars have been closed also, by the way, also, which reminds me, the people who are also going to the bars and the strip clubs, maybe that's just their way of coping, you know? They're just like, I'm just going to drown all this sorrow with beer. Again, I'm not saying this is right. All I'm saying is also try to look at it from these people's perspectives. It's not that they're not aware of what is going on. It's not that they're not afraid. That maybe they're just trying to cope. Have you thought of that? Maybe they're just trying to cope. And the best way of making them seeing sense is not to vilify them, is not to like whip them. I saw in Zimbabwe, was it Zambia or Zimbabwe, they're just whipping them from the church. They still won't get it in their heads. Like I said, people are just trying to cope with everything that's happening. So I think we definitely need a different way. We need a different way of approaching this and trying to explain to most people of what is happening. There are people who relax by just sitting at home with their kids. Just knowing that their kids are safe and they're with their kids, that's what makes them happy. So, and also people who can work from home. There are people who are addicted to their work and they are able to work from home. Those I can say they're coping pretty well. But people who, you're in the service industry, say you own a restaurant, right now is a very stressful time because how are you going to be paying your employees? How are you going to be paying your suppliers and your bills and everything? So, which means you cannot stay at home. You want to stay at home, but you can't. Your landlord is still going to be there at the end of the month. So we're finding different ways of coping with this situation right now. And for the people who went to church and gathered in places, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying the people who are really going on them, I think we need to find a different approach of getting it into their heads, getting them to understand. For me, for example, as much as I knew how dangerous everything is, I was still going to the gym. Like I said, I was still going to the gym. I know I was exposing myself, but I was still going. The only thing that I was doing is I was just gym and home. I live by myself, and I'm not accepting any guests into my house, so that in case, God forbid, anything happens, I know exactly where I picked it up from. Right now, I'm not going to the gym. The farthest that I go is to Carrefour. I just go to the supermarket because I need supplies, and that's it. And I come back home. It's not that I'm defending Christians or people who are going to church. I'm not religious myself. If you follow me, you already know I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. So I don't even go to church anyway. So anyway, the whole point of this video, or what I'm trying to say, is let's find a way of making people understand why this is serious and why we need social distancing. Like, for example, on Saturday, my gas ran out. And I had a boda guy bring the gas to me. And I was like, kwani huogopi? Bado unafanya tu kazi, hauogopi? And he was like, hakuna kitu kama corona. Up to now, he does not believe corona exists. Can you believe it? He says it's a fake. Actually, he said, ni serikali inatafuta pesa. The government is looking for money. And I'm there thinking, how is the government looking for money? How will they make money from this? Just like, I'm not a supporter of the government. I know they have their evils, but at this particular point, I'm with the government. I'm like, how are they making money from this? So there's a lot of propaganda and misinformation that is going around. So he said he doesn't believe it, and he said he will only believe it when someone dies. That is what he said. When he sees someone dying, that is when he'll believe it. And in my compound, our gardener went to church, actually. Our gardener went to church because I saw him well-dressed and I was like, this guy, he must have gone to church today. So I asked him and he said, yeah, I went to church. And I'm like, aren't you afraid of corona? Weren't you told not to go to church, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, well, there's no corona in our church, so we'll still go. Plus, God is going to save us. Which is another point. Like, I feel like so many people have been brainwashed. It's not bad to believe in God. Please pray, please believe. You know, even us, the non-believers, some of us, today in the morning, I actually found myself praying. I actually prayed. I said a little prayer and I was like, God, please protect us, not just my family, but the whole of this country. Like, we need you right now. You know, so it's gotten to a point that we're also turning to God. So basically, back to my point, he was talking of there's no corona in their church, so he's fine. And what made me know that this is the serious education that needs to happen, he was like, but Abby, I'm in the compound every day doing all this. I touch my face all the time and I don't have corona. And I'm like, that's not how it works. The fact that you've gone to the garden and you've touched your face, like, people just don't understand how this is happening. And I'm feeling like if this is happening right here in Nairobi, in the city, where we have technology, we have information, we have all of that, it's happening here, then what about in the village? Like, how much misinformation is being spread out there right now? So I feel like people are not doing this. Yes, some people are doing it because they're not very much informed of what's happening. But a majority of us already have the information, but maybe not the right information, or it has not been approached in the right way. Because at the end of the day, you can't tell me someone who's used to going to church every Sunday, and then all of a sudden you're telling him or telling her that there's corona, don't go to church, and they've not seen it. It's going to be really hard. And that is going to be that's our weakest link, I feel. That is our weakest link right now, the misinformation and getting people out of their routine. And like I said, for me, I'm so used to going to the gym, now I've been taken out of the routine. Some people are used to going to the church, now you'll be taken out of that routine, and you'll have to find alternative ways. But the government and also individuals need to play a very big role in making that transition as easy or as seamless as possible. But forcing them out of their routine is going to be really, really difficult. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. Please let me know what you're doing to keep yourself away from like practicing social distancing. And now that you have all the time, what are you doing with your time? Are you reading a book? Are you writing a script? Are you practicing on your singing? Because I feel this is the best time to work on it, to work on your talent. That thing that you haven't been doing for such a long time, this is the time. So that when our partial quarantine is over, you'll come out and say, hey, there was something good that came out of it. For me, I feel, because I'm making videos every day, I feel like I'm being very productive in that way, because my YouTube channel had been dead like most of last month because I just did not have the time. Right now, I have all the time in the world, so I'm making as many videos as I can. Anyways, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.